Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure about each and every single one of you, but I am sure that you guys probably didn't do a lot of sleeping last night. I did not do a lot of sleeping either because, again, we see the same nightmare over and over and over again. The Kansas City Chiefs again beat the Buffalo Bills, send us home, send us to Cancun. And on today's episode, I kind of wanted to host a therapy hour for all the Bills fans that are still looking for answers, looking for somebody to blame. I'm very excited to unpack all of that. But first, I need to change Bob's outfit because we are now in Cancun. So I'm going to go ahead and change his outfit real fast, folks. Take this off. All right. Bob. All right. Good old Bob, man. Cancun Bob. Cancun. Cancun Bob, man. Here he is. Here's Cancun Bob. Look at that. Let's go to get him nice and Cancuned up, dude. Cancuned up, bro. There you go. Cancun Bob. Here he is. Where's the Hawaiian shirt for good old Bob? All right, guys. Shout out to everybody that's coming on in. Smash that like button if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so far. The Buffalo Bills, man, sat here and broke our hearts. Now, I kind of wanted to go off and discuss what I saw from this game, things that pissed me off, things that I feel that are kind of against the status quo. Because when the Buffalo Bills ultimately end up losing these playoff games, we always love to point fingers. Number one has to be Sean McDermott, right? Like a lot of people are automatically going to look at the head coach. And I will be the first to tell you that Sean McDermott is very low on my list for, I would say, the first time in a very long time. And hear me out, because I know that people are already like writing up their picket signs right now and they're heading down over to Highmark Stadium as we speak. And they're ready to claim, fire Sean McDermott. We're done. We need something different. Fire Bean, which is, I mean, typically a knee-jerk reaction. And as I've said before several times on this show, is that this is quite literally going to be the last thing that happens. I think ownership is going to give him a couple of more years, especially since many would assume or many would predict that we ultimately ended up exceeding expectations this year. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I'm just saying that if you're hoping that Sean McDermott is fired, you are going to be wildly disappointed. But going back to Sean McDermott, and this is something I was saying on my live stream last night, and this is something that I may have said while I was just posting various TikTok videos throughout the week, is that I am not mad at Sean McDermott for being aggressive at all. At all. There have been so many games in the past, even dating back to the last playoff matchup against Kansas City, the divisional round against Kansas City, that 13 seconds game, where Sean McDermott went out there and he played absolutely vanilla, conservative, scared, not playing to win. And I saw that from Sean McDermott last night. I saw him going out there and playing as conservative, well, excuse me, as aggressive as humanly possible. I'm not pissed that we went for 2 points twice and failed. It sucked that we failed, but we just didn't execute, right? I'm not mad at us continuously trying the tush push, because let's be completely honest with ourselves, folks. Have we ever seen a team that successful against the tush push all season? Last time I saw that thing fail was during the COVID year or a couple of years back, where Josh Allen ended up getting stopped at the goal line in Tennessee. It's almost automatic each and every single time. One would argue that we did convert that one tush push, but that's a conversation for a different time. I love the aggressive game time decisions from Sean McDermott and going for it on 4th and downs and also going for the 2-point conversions. If you want to beat a team like Kansas City, you have to play aggressive. The problem was is that we just ended up lacking the execution, which absolutely sucks, right? I think a lot of people are mad at Dalton Kincaid. Okay. I'm mad at Dalton Kincaid, especially since I keep watching that replay over and over and over again, like a damn horror movie of it literally hitting his forearm. What a damn throw from Josh Allen, man. Like, that's like another iconic picture of yet another Buffalo Bill completely failing us when we absolutely needed him to come through. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's his fault because there were so many opportunities on offense that we could have ended up punching it in, right? Execution, in my opinion, was the biggest villain. And I'm not going to give Joe Brady a pass either, because I think at times during the game, things got a little vanilla. Like, there were a couple of times where I thought, is Ken Dorsey like making a guest appearance? It didn't make sense to me that James Cook didn't have even more carries. Like, guy was absolutely eating when he could. Maybe it's giving credit over to the Kansas City Chiefs defense for making adjustments, but even all throughout the game, he was having his way. It hurts, man. It hurts. And that's the sick reality that we have to live in. Now, this Kansas City Chiefs team, man, right? Like, we're sitting here looking, and again, our quarterback, where it stands, has the most playoff wins in NFL history to a quarterback that does not have a Super Bowl victory. That is a Patrick Mahomes stat. And lo and behold, we have that damn team going out there and representing the AFC in the Super Bowl again. Let's go on ahead and let's check out the box score of this game. And let's have some more conversations when it comes into it. 224 of you are in here right now. 113 of you are on YouTube. 106 of you are currently on X. 5 of you are on Facebook. Guys, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so far. And let's dive into this. And then I'll show a little bit of love right over to the chat. But, like, here's the deal. This right here didn't make a lot of sense to me. 13 carries for 85 yards, and James Cook was averaging 6.5 yards per carry. To me, that doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. Why on God's green earth would you not continue pounding the damn rock, even during those 4th and short situations that we had? James Cook was having his absolute way with the Kansas City Chiefs run defense and that interior defensive line. That right there, in my opinion, is a Joe Brady issue. It's not like that the game was ever completely out of reach for the Buffalo Bills. Never was. It was always within one score, maybe marginally above one score. Us completely abandoning the run, especially how James Cook was playing on the ground, was probably sin number 1 for me. And it was great that he had a couple of receptions. He did his thing. Mac Hollins being our leading receiver. Shakir 6 for 46. But, like, so many missed opportunities, right? Like, we were talking about a defense in Kansas City that had one of the most difficult times guarding tight ends. Okay, so you had Dalton Kincaid only with 2 receptions and only 1 reception for Dawson Knox. So when it comes into it, that right there is a play call issue, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is a play call issue. 0 turnovers. We played a clean game. Problem was that we just ended up getting too vanilla and we abandoned the run. The thing that made us the team that we were all season, which really, really upsets me. But with Josh Allen, 22 for 34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, added 39 on the ground as well. I'm trying to look up the completion percentage right there. Not that it really matters, right? Like, who gives a shit at this point? But just in case people are interested, 22 for 34. So a 65% completion percentage. And then when you ultimately end up looking at Patrick Mahomes, 18 for 26, 245, and just a single touchdown. Yeah, Pat Mahomes had 2 rushing touchdowns. Kareem Hunt had 1. Xavier Worthy had a couple. But this right here was where it was interesting, right? Because we had a defensive game plan. So we had a defensive game plan, which I thought was the right game plan. And so to be completely honest with you, all week leading up to the game, what I had to say was that this Buffalo Bills team needs the run man coverage because we need to be able to take Travis Kelce out of the game, right? And for a while, I thought that it was working. Problem is that the second that we see Christian Benford out there, literally knocked out, dude was knocked out on that cart. He was sleeping. So all we have to do is just cross our fingers and pray that he is okay, because that was scary and certainly was not talked about enough. But it's funny that the second that you end up putting out Kyrie Elam out on the corner, that is when some of these receivers absolutely started to cook, ladies and gentlemen. Xavier Worthy, 6 receptions for 85 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster had a couple of massive passes. Hollywood Brown, 3 for 35. It was just all over the place, man. And all this had to do was just a lack of defensive personnel, which makes it, I don't know, it sucked. I'm not mad at the game plan either. Like, on the defense, it's ironic, right? It's definitely ironic because all season long, like, we have made the defense our biggest villain. Our biggest villain was the defense. It really, really was. We hated the game plans. So we went on ahead and made bad guys when we could. Like, folks, look, like, we literally held their rushing attack to a little over 100 yards, which is completely fine, dude. Hunt had 17 carries for 64. And so Isaiah Pacheco had 5 for 12, and Pat Mahomes had 11 for 43. I thought the linebackers did well. The problem was that we had a rookie in Cole Bishop getting cooked, and we also ended up having Christian Benford only out there for, I'd say, 2 series right before he was carted off the field once again. So at the end of the day, folks, again, the Buffalo Bills, we lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. And where do we go from here? Right? Like, where do the Buffalo Bills go from here? I have Bob decked out in Cancun gear. In fact, I need to get him a beach hat or something like that. I'll go ahead and I'll knock that out, but is what it is. As far as the offseason plan, y'all know me. I'm an off-season animal. I put out content each and every single day, regardless if the football season is going on or it is not. Fun fact, I am headed over to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl with me and like 8 other dudes from Roundtable Sports. And we are going to be covering the practices around all of these draft prospects that are coming for the next 4 days. So my stream schedule is going to be a little different. I'm probably going to have to do a late afternoon stream at some point just to keep you guys up to date. And then the following week, I am also going to be at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I know, fuck me, right? Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. Fun. It's great. Way to ruin my experience, Pat Mahomes, for the love of God. I'm just kidding. It's going to be a great time. But I am also going to be there, and I will be filming a whole bunch of content. So stick around. We're going to have a great time. I promise you that. But then after the Super Bowl week, it's back to business. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking at off-season material, free agency. We're going to be looking at drafts, cap space, so many different things that I'm very excited that we are going to be able to take over. So go on ahead, guys, and subscribe if you haven't. And guess what? I'm also going to be giving you a bunch of jersey giveaways all season long and memorabilia all across the NFL. So I thank everybody that has come in for sure, including the Chiefs fans, the Ravens fans, and NFL fans that have discovered me. Don't worry. I'm going to be keeping you entertained all off season long. I hope that you decide to stick around because I promise you, we're going to have a great damn time over here. We can make this happen. Where do you go? Back to the AFC title game and finish the job. Bills will be playing in January 2026. Super Dave Boston's coming in here. So why do I feel optimistic about the Buffalo Bills? Here's the deal, right? This was supposed to be a retooling year. Like, this was supposed to be a retooling year for this squad. Like, we were significantly understaffed with our defensive personnel, and our defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, and the like, had them play at a very, very high level. Guys, we have a hell of a lot more cap space than we did last offseason. We have draft picks, which is completely solid. 2 2s, a first rounder, which could easily be moved around. Grab a fucking edge rusher, for the love of God. I will spend so much money on Myles Garrett. You have no idea what we're talking about right now, right? So much money on Myles Garrett. I would be happy. Like some game-changing edge rusher would be incredible, right? Another DB would be great. Maybe another receiver out of the draft, something along those lines. But this team has a formula. There's no question in my mind that this Buffalo Bills team is going to be exactly where they were in the AFC Championship again next year. We had a very short rebuild, folks. An AFC Championship appearance is not bad for a rebuild, if you have to ask me. It sucks, is what it is, but what can you do? So are we going to sit on the ground and die, or are we going to rise to the occasion? And are we going to see what this team does for us this offseason? It's all about the flight, baby. So we need to draft an entire secondary. This just isn't good enough. I might be on the fire McDermott and hire Gruden wagon. Boris is coming on in. Man, listen, I know that a lot of Bills fans want him gone. I just don't see ownership doing it, unfortunately. Let me see. Morning, Dan. Let's just be honest. This defense isn't good enough to win a bowl yet. Get Allen a wide receiver 1 and draft secondary. Help us in the offseason. This needs to be a massive defensive offseason for the Buffalo Bills. This needs to be one of the largest defensive acquisition through free agency and then also through the draft that we have ever seen in our entire lives. I don't think Amari Cooper is going to come back because I think he's going to hit free agency and he's going to go chase a bag. I would love for him to come back because maybe like we'll actually use his ass. But if not, I feel like we have some pretty good guys out there already with Shakir, with Keon Coleman in year 2 and the whole 9. But yeah, dude, listen, I totally agree with you. I think that we need to focus so heavy on defensive personnel. It's absolutely insane. And I'm very much looking forward to going to the Senior Bowl here within the next couple of hours and checking out some of these guys. We will win the division easily again, though, as always. Chiefs fans, not even good villains, dude. They're whiny little brats. Always key injuries in the DB department happened once again. It sucked losing Benford. It really, really did. So Mahomes can complain about the refs, but Bills fans can't. Wow. Third in the division. Not crying, just pointing out some BS you guys get all the time. And it's starting to get fishy. Jamal Jones, when season comes, beat teams, go Bills. We have Bills Mafia Sports. But guys, now I see that the Super Bowl logo conspiracy is real. It's red and yellow. It's red and yellow, green and white this year. Tell me what teams match those colors. Look at that. Something that I brought to the internet a couple of years ago. Absolutely crazy. Dan, who is your biggest need in the first round? Edge rusher. Do whatever we can to go up and get an absolute dog if necessary, man. We need somebody that can consistently get to the quarterback. That is the biggest thing, in my opinion, that we need. Someone that's absolutely scary. A couple of safeties I do like going into year 2. But have no fear, guys. Listen, follow along. And that goes for everybody that is watching me that might not be a Bills fan. Highly recommend that you tune in this week because I am going to be interviewing all of these players that are going into the NFL draft all week. It's going to be a great time. And follow me on X specifically because that's where I'm going to be posting all the videos, all the interviews on YouTube, the whole 9. What's our cap space look like this year? I think we're good. We are in a significantly better place than we were last offseason. And so I will tell you that. Dan, what do you think about Vaughn for next year? I really hope he retires. I really, really hope he retires. Technically, we're still kind of stuck with him next year, but we're going to have to see what this Buffalo Bills squad does. Why didn't they play Hyde in this game? I'm trying to figure this out. I love this team, but trying to understand, he probably just wasn't ready, right? Like he probably just wasn't ready. And we ended up bringing him in for more of a player coach role rather than being a player. And plus, so Micah Hyde is a free safety. He's not a strong safety. So once Rapp came down, we had to go out there and see if our rookie could make some plays. I'm really hoping that Cole Bishop goes out there and he does his thing. I love that Dan Mitchell is going to the Super Bowl too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. So you guys weren't going to win in our stadium anyways. Was a hell of a damn game. I'm heartbroken, but the radio people have made me feel better. They say it's just a game and keep moving forward. Dude, it is still a game. It's just a game, man. And the offseason is fun. There's a thing called the King of the Mountain syndrome, right? Like where somebody ultimately ends up achieving everything that they have wanted to achieve in their entire life. But then once they absolutely get to the top, I guess they ultimately just end up getting depressed. Maybe it's good for me, right? Like, what would I do if this Buffalo Bills team actually did win the Super Bowl? What else would I have to fight for, baby? I love it. Listen, we get up and we fight again. Re-sign Mac Hollins, so release the deadweight on D, Elam, Vaughn, Hamlin, and trade all the damn defensive ends that are on milk cartons for the last 5 weeks. Also, Bills drop the ball 2 years in a row. Brandon Beane needs to be aggressive this offseason, and I mean the Commanders level aggressive. No more signing gadget players. No more trading for 6th-round picks to protect pieces. John, and you act like a 7-year-old crying like a baby. Okay, we have people arguing in the chat. T. Higgins or Garrett Wilson. Here's the thing. Like, nothing is wrong with our offense. Man. Like, we were number 2 in the league for points scored all season long. I'm fine with adding some more talent by itself, but if you were able to walk away, like with that game and say, or this season and say that like what we truly need is like some game-changing defensive personnel, I really don't know what you're talking about. 13 seconds, my guy. Great game, brother. I got you with the Reed glove. You're the man, dude. We will get in touch, and then I'll send you over my P.O. box information, man. I really, really appreciate that. Hamlin, MVP, DJ Gene, hello, three-peat. Super Dave Boston, as being on the mountain 6 times, I got to say, it's awesome there, Dan. It is absolutely awesome. Hell, Ed could have gotten there a few times last night if dude's arm wasn't wrapped around him like he had him in a chokehold, and of course, no calls. Like, guys, here's the thing, right? Like, I thought that it was a pretty fairly officiated game. I guess we could sort of go on ahead and say, you know what, like that, like one reception that Xavier Worthy ended up catching, maybe, right? Like maybe. And maybe that one tush push that got called back in the Chiefs' favor, maybe. But there was still a lot of like opportunities, man. Like, why the hell would we only run James Cook 13 times when dude was averaging 6.5 yards per carry? That didn't like make sense to me. 13 carries for James Cook when he's going absolutely off. Like, bro, like we should have went out there and pounded the rock with that guy. If we're talking about absolute priorities for re-signing, number one, just go on ahead and just re-sign Josh Allen, of course. So just go on ahead and extend his ass. Extend James Cook, because that guy is going to be a fucking dog next year. He will finish top 3 in every single statistic, not just touchdowns. He's going to have a year with James Cook. Kincaid getting that first down and 12 minutes in the fourth, only to be told no, and then told no again when Josh clearly breaches. Lots of coulda, shoulda, but that was bullshit. Yeah, no, I agree. We have the Villamar family, and Josh saturated off, too nervous, making mistakes. Osiris, yes, I think it was okay with the ref. Zebra, Sean needs to think a little harder sometimes. He should go for 1 in close games next time. See, I don't agree with you there, right? Because if you want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to play aggressive like that. So I'm not pissed at Sean McDermott going for 2 twice. I'm not pissed at Sean McDermott continuously going for the tush push, because that's our bread and butter. If you want to beat Kansas City, you have to be aggressive like that. That's how we beat them in the regular season each and every single time, right? So I'm not mad at him being aggressive. It was just like a plan of execution is what it is, man. So like you need to go out there and leave it all on the field. So is what it is. I'd rather Sean McDermott be aggressive and fail than him be conservative and we walk out sort of looking like a pussy, right? I suppose, for lack of a better term. Let me see. Our offensive line was trash today. I thought our offensive line was decent. Like, wasn't terrible. But here we go. LMFAO, when your QB is 6'5", 240 and gets stuffed twice inside the one, it's embarrassing. Gold this Mafia with the Brittany Mahomes. I lost brain cells attempting to decipher that. Prediction. Something tells me we're going to need the 1 seed to make the Super Bowl. That is precisely what we're going to have to do. That is precisely what we're going to have to do. Big wake-up call for the NFL after this horrible game. Rigged scripted football 100%. I wouldn't say that it was rigged, man. No, I wouldn't say that it was rigged. We just didn't go out there and play the game that we needed to. So we put up 29 points, right? So we put up 29 points, and I did say that Kansas City would need to score the most points that they have had all season in order to beat us, and damn did they. Credit to them. I still take Coleman over Worthy any day. He will show out next year. I agree. Jess, hard to beat the refs, habitual line stepper. That's why y'all beat us, and that's why Kansas City always beats y'all, leaving points on the board. Fans will learn to say fuck analytics in the postseason. If we have Myles Garrett / Max Crosby, we would have won. If my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle, right? No, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just trying to make y'all a little smiley if that was the case. John is coming in. How does replay assist get the spot of the ball wrong? Is this the NFL or a high school game? Is what it is. Last playoff road win was the win against Miami in the 90s. You know, when you threaten the Spags defense, it's blitzing from absolutely anywhere. Sorry for the loss, Dan. What can you do? What can you do, man? There are 31 losers in the NFL each and every single year. And there are 31 losers in the NFL each and every single year. But at the end of the day, we made it a hell of a lot further than a lot of us would have anticipated from the regular season, right? Nobody in here thought that we would have made it to the AFC Championship. With all of our departures in the offseason, it sucks. It's still a failure in my eyes because when you make it that far, you better win the whole thing. But again, there are 31 losers in the NFL each and every single year. And, what can you do? Sometimes, you just look at an overall situation. And as far as I'm concerned, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs own the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they do. But who don't they own? Right? Who don't they own? They literally own everybody. They literally own everybody. It's how it is. Listen, it's not heartbroken and pissed right now. You're not a Bills fan. At least we got that far. Next year, we have to make this game in Buffalo. So not the spot was correct stop, and you cannot change it on review. I'm not going to sit here and obsess over it, right? Because it wasn't enough to overturn. Exact same thing when it came into that one quote-unquote reception. That's just kind of how it is. Yes, were there some calls that pissed me off? Absolutely, but what can you do? Isaiah, why do the Bills have to be the best at looking like they're losing? I have no idea. We need to get some better backups for defense. When you have 2 starters get injured and our backups can't live up to par with everyone, it's time to get some new defense. So here's something, Spidey, that makes me feel at least a little encouraged. Is a Sean McDermott defense typically sees a massive year 2 leap from a lot of the defensive players that we end up drafting to this squad, right? I am hoping, I am praying that Cole Bishop is the one that takes that next leap. Because there have been so many years where Taron Johnson had a crazy year 2. Same thing with Bernard, had a crazy year 2. Especially guys in our secondary always develop very nicely going into year 2. So I am encouraged with Cole Bishop, with some of the plays he's been making. Obviously, he needs to step up. Obviously, I think some of us could put a little bit of blame on him if necessary, but I'm confident that Cole Bishop will rise to the occasion. I think Benford will pick up exactly where he left off. I'm not sure where Rasul Douglas is going to go, but I think a CB2 is going to be absolutely necessary for this team. A new free safety is going to be crazy because I don't see us re-signing Damar Hamlin. I just don't see that. But we'll see. Trevor Barr is coming in. Honestly, having watched the last several playoff games, Bills didn't look in command from the beginning of this game. 2023, at least from my perspective, felt more competitive, and the Orchard Park snowplow was super ineffective with the Chiefs. And the Chiefs defense was super stout and had an answer for every move we made. And the Bernard concussion looks super bad. Looking forward to to the draft next. Go Bills, go. Trevor, I appreciate that, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We're going to see. Dan, does Allen get a new contract this year or next year? So his guarantees run out in 2027, but I think Josh Allen is probably going to get a massive restructure this year. He'll probably get a massive restructure, and then it's going to go down into who we want to pay afterwards. But his guarantees don't run out until 2026, so the 2026 regular season. So I have a feeling that we're going to get it done this offseason if I'm a gambling man, Glenn. If I'm a gambling man, I think that we get that contract done this offseason. Bills and the regular season champions, LMAO. Jets forever. Jets forever. The New York Jets, top 5 draft pick champions, baby. Always get that going. Refs don't even try to hide it no more. They did it to the Patriots. Why didn't we play them like we did week 11? Where was that? It's home field advantage, bro. It's home field advantage. Everyone wants to get rid of their coaches when they lose. It's in our fan base also. So trade incoming, a trade. So the habitual line stepper wants Sean McDermott, and we'll take John Harbaugh. It's absolutely insane. I'm done. I'll stick to gambling. I'm done watching fake overpaid players. Jess, and I'm a Broncos fan. That's the truth. I am speaking. Prediction. Keep telling that to yourself, bro. Your conference ain't good. It just isn't. Jake, Dan, how would you feel if we drafted Walter Newland? Ed Oliver hasn't shown up. He's a good push rusher and stout at a run defense. I'd be fine with it, but here's the deal. I just don't know if that aligns with the Buffalo Bills front office priorities. I don't know. Let me see. Glenn is saying, why do you restructure? Give him a new contract. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. We'll just, yeah. So because he's technically still with us for like 4 years, but his guarantees run out in 2025. Like him being on the roster, he gets some massive salary. So it could be a new contract, or it's like some massive extension, where we just make him like top 3 highest paid is more than likely what's going to happen. Sean McDermott for Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh for Kyle Shanahan. It's funny how fan bases always want their coaches gone, right? It's not just Bills fans. Yet we'd still be a top 2 team in the NFC. Nick, and the Bills had a fantastic season overall. Was it a roller coaster of emotions? Sure, but isn't it always? But great season overall. Bella, hey, we made it farther than I expected this season after going through all Super Bowl losses. This is absolutely nothing, or a mixture of those trades. Yeah, dude, listen, man, let's hop in. So what do you think of Portnoy boycotting the NFL? Yeah, we'll see how long that takes. Eagles are the only team that have a chance in the AFC. Factual channel. Dan, what do you think about C. Ward? Charvarius Ward for the 49ers? I'd be open to it, but could we afford him? I think Kincaid needs a few games next season and will be a great player. His year 3, hopefully, man. Why is nobody talking about how Josh Allen only used his legs in the first play of the game? I don't know, dude. Yeah, I really don't know. Let's get it going. Oh, my God. Y'all need to make a sacrifice to Satan to win the game. Nah, I wouldn't do that. What's the contract extending priorities? So between Cook, Rousseau, Shakir, Benford, and Bernard? Well, knowing Bean, he'll probably be able to get 4 out of the 5. And if you were to ask me, I'd probably get rid of Rousseau out of those 5. Like, say, for example, that we could only pick 4. I'd probably have to let Rousseau walk. That's me. Charity is coming in. Fix the defense. Absolutely. I am being punished by the football gods because my basketball team had a dynasty for 10 years. Love your streams, Dan. You are the man, but if we can't beat Kansas City, who can the Bills play from the best and still come up short? I know, dude, right? I'm still hurt. Yeah, so the difference is Josh Allen did not turn into Superman, seemed passive when running, did not run much for him. I mean, I just don't know if the defense had answers and he didn't like the looks, or I don't know. Man. Mac Hollins and Shakir got us far this season. They certainly did. Elam is trash, indeed. Broncos have a great defense. Why can't we do what they do? Elam is trash. Dan thinks Thanks for all the great content. Now I am going for the Philly special. Jackie, have no fear, brother, because I'm going to be doing content all off season long, my friend. So I promise you, I will be keeping you guys entertained. Smash the like button, guys. I did announce all of my jersey giveaway winners on TikTok and also on my sort of YouTube shorts. If you got a DM from me or if I responded to your comment saying, hey, dude, you won, congratulations, then obviously you know. But have no fear because I'm going to be doing random jersey giveaways all year long, and that is including during the off season. So if you want to be a part of my random jersey giveaways, guys, number one, have to be a subscriber rate to this YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's going to be it. All right, guys. So some cleanup stuff. I need to go on ahead and I need to get an oil change in the truck. And then I also need to run to the airport to pick up Richie and Colby and Troy, or Dose of Dion 2.0, because we are going to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama to go on ahead and check out some prospects for the draft. So as far as content today for me, I'm going to try to go live on this channel once we get to the Airbnb later this afternoon or perhaps later this evening. So schedule is going to be a little weird this week because practices for the Senior Bowl are super early in the morning and they run all the way to 2. But I will be live on BetUS TV's The Huddle at the normal time with each and every single day. So make sure that you guys subscribe and then also make sure that you also have your bell notifications turned on. Obviously, we are going to be unpacking this game probably for one more day, and then we are going to be taking a deeper look into what this team looks like. But I love each and every single one of you. It sucks. We lost. But all we can do is get back up, ladies and gentlemen, move forward, and hope this team doesn't disappoint us again. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in this season. Have no fear. I'm not going anywhere. You're still getting fire hot content. 365, baby. See y'all soon. Peace.